Right, well, I can just about see. It's always the same with me and microphones. 4:30 yesterday evening, I did not know about this conference. I did not know about anything to do with Let's Ling being present here. I happened to phone Mary because I'm the chairman of Let's West Lothian, and I had received an email to say that she wanted information to be presented at the conference. And she said, "Oh dear, I'm not going to make it. What do you think?" And I said, "Well, no, not really." But at 10 to 5, I texted her because she said she needed to know by 5 and said, "Okay." So I'm going to present to you what Let's is. Okay? Let's stands for Local Exchange Trading Scheme. Sometimes it's systems, but we know it as Local Exchange Trading Schemes. And it's a modernised form of barter, really. In the morning, you get up, you come down the stairs, you say to your spouse, "Would you mind dropping the kids off? I've got to stay at home for the plumber. Oh, and by the way, if you bring the shopping in, I'll do the bedtime routine tonight." That's a very simple form of trading. You know, get your room tidy by 11:30. I'll give you a lift. Do you want me to speak? Oh, God.
It's even worse.
I'll give you a lift to the football in time. Okay? Well, they move. Even better. Does that work?
It should do. Can we put it back
I'll
on?
just have to do my old school teacher and project my voice. So we do trading all the time within a family setting. A slightly more complex system of trading is that we do within friendships. If you lend me the bike for the rally this weekend, Joan has the kids for an overnight, so I tell you what, I'll come and help you sort out that stuff for the car boot sale. We trade all the time. We're not aware of how we're trading. It's I offer you this, you offer me that. There is, of course, the old form of trading, which we know historically as the form of barter. In the form of barter, the traders would go and they would say, "You can have the furs if you give me some of the various provisions I need." Farmers would swap machinery. You trade your vegetables and your fruit over the garden fence. That type of trading requires a sort of semi-equal trade between two people. In other words, I can ask James if he'd walk my dog 3 times a week and I'll give him eggs in return. But what happens, as those who keep hens will know, when the hens go off the lay, my dog still needs a walk. How do we put something in place? I must stand in front of this thing for that. So Let's, the Local Exchange Trading Scheme, has developed several tools that you can put into place, which in a sense helps you to solve those problems. And the first one is that we have a procedure for recording transactions. So they are recorded so that we know so many transactions have been made by these people between those people. Another thing is that we have a non-monetary reward system, so that I'll give you a bit more information about that later, but that basically means that you get a reward for what you do. It doesn't need to be a box of eggs. And the other thing that we have, which is, I think, one of the core reasons why there are successes within the Let system, is that we have a committee and a constitution. At least we do in West Lothian. I'm not sure if every Let's organisation does, but we have a constitution, and that allows us to have a smooth running organisation and membership accountability. Of course, it's a very simplified form of what Let's is. However, how does it work? Well, Let's is normally a community of people within a defined locality. It can be a large, it can be a small, they join up and become members of this group. We have a directory which lists all the members' details and their offers and their wants, what they're offering and what they would like to receive. Transactions then take place between members who trade goods or services for basically they negotiate a non-monetary fee. Now, this fee can have different names depending on your Let's group. For instance, at West Lothian, we call it a shale. In Edinburgh, they call it a reekie. I don't know what you call it in Fife. But each area will produce their own name. It is a non-physical something, okay? You can't actually put your hand on it. But it is a reward. So, when I ask James if he'll walk my dog, I don't need to worry about the unpredictable eggs because I can give him shales, which he takes away and gets his sister Claire to cut his hair. Claire can then bank her shales, and from those shales, she can then get Beth to knit her a pullover for her boyfriend's birthday. So it doesn't have to be a direct barter system. You can work amongst each other. Okay, shales or rikis or whatever you term them, they only exist in a non-material form. And for the sake of some sort of assistance when people join a Let's scheme, usually Let's will give some indication in terms of pounds as to what the equivalent would be. This really only helps you when you're negotiating something to decide how much is it worth my eggs, how much are my eggs worth, how much is the dog walking worth. But the longer you trade, the longer you work within the Let's schemes, the more you realise that the pound equivalent isn't really relevant. The pound equivalent is a guideline, but not really relevant. And it is actually possible to trade between Let's groups. We in West Lothian have traded with Edinburgh, so they give us rikis for things and we give them shales for things. And the two committees organise the swap over, however that's done. It's this sort of fee system, the shale, the riki, whatever you like to call it, is really a reward or a thank you for somebody having done something for you. And for this reason, you don't have a credit or a debit. It doesn't have relevance. In fact, if you didn't go into debit, you could never start trading. Although I gather some Let's groups give you 20, whatever it is that they call it, shales or equivalent. But you couldn't ever start trading with anybody if you were going into a sort of debit system. So you trade, and it's actually the trade that counts.
Just on a minute.
Yes? Yes, I'm nearly there, honestly. Okay. How do we trade? We trade with a directory which offers members wants and their offers. We also have a trade fair where we get together, usually in conjunction with a social event where we can do trading. We also sometimes form subgroups, like we have a Garden Buddies subgroup within Let's West Lothian, so we trade within our group of gardening friends. And there are also one-off postings that can go on a website or on a notice board. The Let's model and structure can be adapted with imagination to any kind of community group. So a loosely based rural setting or a tightly defined city sort of area. School parent groups, church or faith committees, communal living arrangements, or part of a transition initiative. It's very simple, quite revolutionary, so let's do it.